Divorce, not an easy subject amongst Christians. Should we get divorced? Shouldn't we? Is it against the law? What do you think? Kan jy jou vrou, soos Moses gesê het, 'n brief teen sy uitmaak? I looked into this matter because I believe that, as Charmaine rightfully said this morning, it's a family reading, both the divorce reading and the love that our Lord has for children, uniting the family. But I looked into this and I said, Lord, help me to understand this reading. And then I did a bit of digging and research, and I found amazing things about divorce, which, to a degree, not encouraging you to get divorced all of a sudden, say to your person. That's not what I'm doing. But I want you to listen carefully, because I'm not trying to twist words, I'm trying to give you the words as it is written by our Lord. Now, first of all, God gave how many commandments? 10, eh? That's God's commandments. 10. Thou shalt not commit adultery. As niks geskryf van thou shalt not divorce. Not right? Nothing is written there about divorce. Moses comes along with the people, gives them the 10 commandments, and the people start going to Moses and bringing up their way of life. What should we do about this? What should we do about this? Did you listen to the reading where the Pharisees asked Jesus about divorce? His answer to them was, he didn't say, what did God say to you in the commandments? He said to them, what did Moses say to you? What was the law Moses gave to you? You see, God's is the 10 commandments, and then we have decrees, we have all different types of ways of life, but all in total, something like 612 laws eventually that Moses managed to give to the people of Israel to live. And one of those decrees was that don't divorce your wife. But if you have to divorce her, and the main reason for divorce at that time was a woman caught in sexual immorality. And there's a reason for this. You see, after living under the Egyptians for 400 years, the first 50 years, to a great degree, was lived under a pharaoh that respected the Israelites. There weren't that many of them, they were still growing slowly. But thereafter they started multiplying, and the pharaohs that came into power then looked at them and said, oh, die mense gaan meer as ons word. Kyk hoe multiply it. They're going to take us over. And one day when we fight with the enemy, they may turn against us and take over Egypt. So they suppressed the Israelites. Right up until the time that Moses came, the Israelites lived a very, very hard life. In history, it is recorded that the Israelites' lifespan under the pharaohs was nothing more than 30 years. They lived as slaves. The main god or goddess of Israel was Ashtoreth. And she was the god of love, of marriage. And in her temples, my apologies, in the temples, they used to exercise immoral sex, as it was part of her way of exalting herself in her temple. So this became part of the way of life for the Israelites. Because don't forget, when Moses came, the Israelites were now slaves of the, I'm sorry. The Israelites were slaves of the Egyptians. Now, a slave, I want you to understand how this story of slaves work. The master of the house was in charge of the family of the house, and that family extended from wife, children to slaves. If there was a woman slave involved, she could be his concubine. He could have sex with her anytime he wanted to. He could have children with her anytime he wanted to. She remained his offering. She belonged to him, body and soul. And so when they went to their services in the temple of Ashtoreth, they had to commit their wives to have sex with anybody who wanted to have sex with her. But because the man now had a slave woman, he would push her forward. And she would have to do this. So when they came out of Egypt, this was one of the things that God had to get out of these people. This habit. Don't forget, this is not 5 minutes. This is not a quickie. This is years of living this way. Hundreds of years of living this way. It was an accepted way of life. So when they came out of Egypt, God had to get rid of this practice. That's why one of his 10 commandments is, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's why he put it in. But he didn't write in anything about divorce, because now these people were free. They were no longer slaves of the Egyptians. They were free and had to do what God asked them to do. Moses instructed them that because of their ways, if you need to divorce your wife, this is how you go about it. But we hear what Jesus says to them. It's not an easy thing when a couple gets into conflict. It's not an easy thing when the marriage doesn't work. The big question is, do we stay together? What about the children? Is it good for the child to grow up in a family where mother and father is always fighting? How do you exercise Christian principles in a family where the two heads of the family is always at war? It's questions, soul-searching questions. And I think why this was not written in the commandments, because God wants us sometimes as human beings to exercise our own judgment. The same way Moses said, okay guys, if it becomes a problem, write her a letter. If the marriage that you are in becomes a major problem, a question that exists between you and God on your knees is, Father, what do I do? Do I tell this woman to stay with me and let us work it out when we have so different personalities? Do I destroy the lives of our children? Or do we separate and go our separate ways? It is a major question, I believe, personally, that belongs to the people that are involved, and not no other person. That is why I love the Gospels of Christ. Christ tells us very pertinently, don't stand in judgment. You are not in the shoes of that person where this is happening. You don't understand the situation. So that becomes a very personal thing. And that is why, when I read this, I understood why God himself did not write it in as a commandment. Because I believe, as we heard Job's little verse that he gave, that is used in the reading of Hebrews, what is man? Could you be concerned over him? You see, we are created in God's image. We think like God, we act like God. And God doesn't want to take that away from us. He doesn't want us to walk around like puppets. He wants us to exercise the authority that he has given us. Certainly, and more importantly, we should have faith. Faith like little children. And I always ask the question, a lot of people use this, and they always talk about the faith that children have in God, and that they have in you as father or mother. Are you going to destroy that faith? So you have to be very, very careful when you exercise your power that God has blessed you with. Because the faith of that child can be destroyed by you. You know, today, when we read in the newspaper of all the funny things that is happening to our little children. And then in a footnote or in another article, somebody said, yeah, but you know, this man that did this vile act of whatever he did, he was abused by his father. He was abused by his mother. Can you ask yourself now, why do things like this happen, Lord? You see, because in that marriage that was unstable and the family stayed together, the abuse took place. And this little child's faith was destroyed. Because there's nothing worse than destroying a child's faith in you. I know we use the example always of standing on the wall and tell the child to jump, and I will give that and fun to stop it. And so it can be on the and the kid, I can be a jump. Because that is the faith that child has in you. And Jesus says to his disciples, and that's why these two readings are so close to each other. Jesus says to his disciples, you must begin to have faith like a little child. Now, to have faith like a little child means to not question. If you study the Word of God, if you read the Gospels, just the 4 Gospels, because in the 4 Gospels, Jesus gives you the way of life as a Christian, and what you can and cannot do, what you can ask for, what you are blessed with, what He has prepared for you. It is in that short piece in the Bible, the 4 Gospels, Jesus lays out our new life that we are supposed to, with both arms enfold. But I don't think many people read it carefully, because in the Gospels, Jesus lays out a plan for us that would bring us the joy and the peace that passes all human understanding. One of those things is to have unquestionable faith. I know there are a lot of Christians that say, yeah, but you know, faith, because James says faith without action is dead. The truth is, read carefully what James is bringing home to you when he talks about faith without action. And listen carefully to what Christ is talking about faith. When Christ talks about faith, it means how you accept His word. Do you believe in what He tells you? If He says, pray to me and I will heal your land, do you believe it? Do we go on our knees and say, Lord, look at this country of ours, look at the problems we have. Is it from your heart? Or are you just giving lip service? No, let's be honest. You can spend hours praying to God and say things that you think God wants to hear. God sees your heart. He knows how you feel. He knows what your intentions are. He knows what you want to bring about in this land. Praying to God sincerely, and that is why it is written in the Word of God. If you pray, it has to be sincere. You have to commit yourself on your heart. That is faith. To believe that what God says is true. Because once you've made that prayer, you must stand up from the kneeling position and say to God, praise the Lord, glory, hallelujah, because you believe you have accepted, God has accepted your prayer and He has answered it. That is faith without question. When you're going for an interview and you've asked the Lord, Lord, you know what? I really want the job, but your will be done. So when you go and they say, do you come out of that place with your head hanging down and say, oh God, you know, I prayed to you. And you didn't help me. But didn't you just say your will be done? And didn't God say, it is my decision, because everything is in God's hands? So God didn't want to give you this job because you're not the right person, or because He doesn't want you to go mix with the people of that place. He has another job for you somewhere else. Wait, don't be impatient. Trust in God, have faith like a child. God says no many times. How do we accept it? When God says this is not the right woman, you say, egg will He make her. How many times do you go through thick and thin for a woman and find out 5 years down the line that she wasn't the right woman, that your mother was right? The thing is, everything to God in prayer, even the choice of your mate. Everything to God in prayer, every step of the way. That is having faith in God and believing God will take charge of your life and lead you every step of the way. Your whole life has been mapped out by God, and God will see to it that you go along that route. Many a times we decide on the route, no, wait, wat 'n bietjie here, ek wil hier kant toe gaan. He allows you to go hier kant toe. But when you knock your head and you cry, He brings you back onto the road. That is having faith in God like a little child, believing that He is in control, that He will take charge of our lives no matter what. And I love the readings of today because I believe that it is readings that is close to our heart, especially in a country that we are living in today. But mind you, not just in our country, but in the rest of the world, things are as bad as it is here. There are millions of children dying all over the world every day, not just in our country. We have isolated incidents of maybe 10 children a day. But there are places in the world where the children are dying by the hundreds. Because whether a child dies through starvation or whether a child dies by the hand of somebody, it's still death. So there are ugly things happening in this world. And we can, even in this situation, rejoice. Because the Word of God says, when you see these things happening, when you have not just little earthquakes or tremors, when you have major earthquakes like that has happened in Indonesia, they don't even know the death toll. Every day it's just increasing. When all these things are happening, know that I am coming. We must pray, God, come quickly. Come, hasten your arrival here on earth. Because let me be truthful about this. Only Jesus has the answer. We can think, we can discuss, we can read about it, we can talk about it, we can write up blogs, you can do what you want to. We do not have the answer. Because we are fighting against a very powerful foe. You see how powerful he is in the story of Job? He was in the presence of the Lord walking around with God. Even though God questioned him, waar kom jy van? Be careful. The foe that we are fighting is going about like a roaring lion, looking for openings and gaps where we have lacked in faith and in prayer to protect those who we love, our loved ones. Cover them with God's mantle in prayer. Protect them, not only us here, but the whole world needs God's protection. So today, carefully look at the readings that has been given to you. Go home and read them again. They are powerful readings. They are readings that should, in reality, be close to our hearts and always remind us that what God has put together, that no man put asunder. And that I should have faith in God, faith in His Word, that I should believe in Him like a little child. Amen.
Amen.